Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Tea and Crystals podcast. I am T.
And I'm Crystal.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we are so happy to have you all back with us for another episode of this here podcast. Now, we got a lot of good stuff to get into today. But before we do, y'all know how I got to start the show. Krista, how are you? How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I know. We're a little rusty. We didn't record for a whole week.
A whole week.
A whole week. I know. It feels like so much longer, though.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But yeah, I'm good. I had a really, really great Thanksgiving. My mom and we went up to Massachusetts. We visited some of our cousins, and we visited her biological side of the family, which for anyone who doesn't know, my mom was adopted when she was a baby. And when she was an adult, she found her mother's side of the family. And so we've, over the years visited them on and off when we would go to Massachusetts, because they don't live too far off from there. And, we would see them, we'd get dinner and stuff like that. And they text and communicate over social media. But this was our first time going up there and actually spending a holiday with them. We did Friendsgiving with them. It was absolutely amazing. I had never done a Friendsgiving. We had a turkey pizza, which I was not expecting it to be as good as it did.
Turkey pizza.
Yes. Our first day there, my Aunt Michelle, not our first day, I think it was our second day, but my Aunt Michelle was like, they've been doing this for I don't know how many years, but they have been doing this for a long time. This has become a tradition for them to do Friendsgiving with turkey, a Thanksgiving pizza. And in their area, there was only one place that was ever doing it. And it just so happened that it did an amazing job, by the way. But I guess this year in particular, a couple of other places decided we're going to hop in on this and we're going to do it too. So they've been testing out Thanksgiving pizzas all the way up to the night before their Friendsgiving to see if the one they were getting was still the best, which it was. And I agree. But one of our first nights there, they were testing one of the pizzas. So we went to my Uncle Dan's house, and we decided this is the first time me and my mom were having the pizza. And it's exactly, for anyone who doesn't know, it's exactly what you think. It's a pizza crust. And then it had, this one had mashed potatoes on it, turkey.
This is not what I was
stuffing.
expecting.
It's not what you're expecting. It's
I
not.
thought it was just going to be like a white sauce with cheese and turkey on it.
No. It had mashed potatoes on it. It had stuffing on it. It has turkey on it. And then you can choose to put cranberry sauce on it. And I was skeptical. I was. But it was so good. It was so good. And they were like, yeah, we like it. This one's a little bit, I don't know. They were critiquing it. It was so funny. But they were like, the one we're getting is definitely better. And they were right. I mean, the mashed potatoes were so buttery. Everything just went the stuffing was very well seasoned. Everything went so good together, especially when you put the cranberry sauce on top. It wasn't a really thick crust. It was more like, I don't know. It's more flatbread type crust. But it was so good. I was obsessed with it.
So do you eat it with a fork and a knife, or do you?
You can. Most of them do, but like for me, once you get that first, because it's very thin at the edge, so once you get that first bite out of the way, you can hold it up like a pizza just fine.
I can't imagine what this looks like. Like
I know, and I don't think
like supposed to be what the pizza sauce is, or?
Essentially, yeah. And then you got a little bit of gravy on it. That's not the sauce though. The gravy is drizzled on there. But yeah, essentially, I don't know, but it's so good. And my Aunt Michelle, we went over to her house several times, and my mom especially was helping her like get ready. She made beautiful platters. I mean, there was vegetables, there was fruit, there was a dessert platter, there was, crackers and cheese and just all these different assortment, and made like 16 million different dips, all of which were amazing. I mean, it was a lot of fun. And then my Uncle Dan, he's a bartender, so he was making drinks, despite the fact that he kept forgetting about my mother's drink because he was a little embriago. We forgive you though, Uncle Dan. But yeah, it was such a beautiful time. And then we went to my cousin Carol's house the next day to do actual Thanksgiving, which was great. Everything tasted delicious. And while we were up there, of course, I had to go visit my cousin Vicky, who owns a
Oh
crystal shop. For
yes.
any of you guys who don't
Yes.
know, these little crystals
The
over here,
crystal shop.
the crystal shop.
Okay.
These little stones, they come from her shop, and her shop is called the Stone Collector. It's been a while since we've done one of these. It's called the Stone Collector. It's in Northborough, Massachusetts. There is not an online shop at the moment, but she does post on Instagram and stuff like that. I don't know if you can DM her and if you see something, because she posts the things that she has. But while I was up there, Timmy was determined to get something. He was like, I want like a stone of some sort, a crystal, a black stone, something. And we were going to FaceTime so he could pick something out. Unfortunately, it did not work out. He was not feeling very well, which is why we were not here last week.
I was gonna say, yeah, I spared myself, to be honest, girl, because you might as well have put me 6 feet under.
Right.
I was going through it.
His whole household was going through it.
Oh,
but
girl.
when we got in there, me and my mom, immediately our eyes went to this. And I was just like, it immediately made me think of you. And I was like, I feel like he would really like this. Really love it. So we decided to get it. And this is before he even, because I was still trying to FaceTime him. So I texted him, he hadn't answered. And it had been a while. And finally my mom was like, you should just get it. I was like, you're right. We should just get it for him. Like, I think he'll really like this. And then we bought it. And literally a minute later, he was like, hey, am I too late? And I'm like, well, I mean, no, but I did just buy you something. So either way, also this mug I got from there too. She's got some little tea sets now. And this one I really love. I think it's technically supposed to be a single serving of tea, a tea mug, because it comes with like a little lid and it comes with the tea kettle thing you can put the loose leaves in. But anyway, so we're going to unwrap, should I say, Timmy's gift so he can see it, because he hasn't seen it yet. You can see it for the first time.
No, I have not. This will be live and in color. My first reaction.
Color. So this is your stone. I don't know how easy it is to see. It has gold in it.
See, I can't. Oh, okay. Okay, now that you lean it, I can see. Is it black?
Yes. It's black, but it has like gold.
That's my kind of carrying on.
I know.
That's my kind.
Like I
you
said,
have to show it to me again on the post show, because things get a little digitalized.
I know. I will. And I'm looking at my screen and I feel like you can definitely see it really well. So
okay.
But yes, this is a golden obsidian is what it is.
Ooh,
so
golden obsidian. So the gold in there is natural?
I guess so. I don't know how this works. Vicky? Cousin, my love, I'm going to need you to text me this. So yeah.
That is nice. Turn it to the side so I can see how thick it is.
Turn it to the side.
Oh yeah, hold on, back a little bit. Yeah, like that. Hold on, back a little bit. No, other way. Yeah, oh, no.
I think we're delayed.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, okay. Oh, that is nice. That is going to look so nice on my shelf. I'm going to get me a little, like the phone holders.
Yes.
That you can put to proper. I'm going to get me one of them. And I'm going to put that on there. Oh, that's going to be real beautiful. Nice.
Yes. So I think it was perfect for you. You can kind of see some of the gold.
Oh, yes. And that is perfect.
We'll figure out a way to get it to you.
That is so nice.
You're welcome. But it's definitely
next time somebody traverses somewhere, I'll make sure that
we'll pass it on.
Just a ride. Yeah.
So yes,
well,
that was
very nice.
That was our trip. That was our Thanksgiving. So I understand you didn't do Thanksgiving this year. You just decided to get sick.
Yeah,
you and the whole family.
I was about to say by that time, I was still sick, but I was recovering. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. I thought I was recovering. But I just had this chest cold that just got really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And I could not talk. Like, that's when I was like, when you were talking about FaceTime me, I was like, I don't think I can do it, because every time I talk, like, I'd be coughing so bad and this shit hurt. And it just, it was bad. And then the little one got a stomach virus from kindergarten, which was pretty bad too. It was and that was on Thanksgiving. So everything just went out the window. But I ended up making Thanksgiving dinner the
Oh,
Sunday after.
okay. That's
I
what's
ended
up.
up making. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you'll be able to really see, but I did end up making me. It was really impromptu because I was
Hmm.
like, we hadn't eaten anything but white bread with toasted white bread with peanut butter for like three
Hmm.
days because the little one was sick, she couldn't really
Yeah.
eat anything. We were
Yeah.
scared we was gonna get sick because her little friend at kindergarten, his parents got like crazy sick from it, so
Mm.
we were so scared, girl. um so on that Sunday we were like, well, I think we're out of the window that
Hmm.
night, so we were like, let's go ahead and eat and try to do something. So we went down to the store and picked up some things.
Hmm.
I don't know if you can see
Ooh, I do. I can. That's looks so
uh
good.
mac and cheese, sweet potatoes, a
Oh
little
my god.
stuffing. I made a whole chicken and some country green beans.
It looks amazing.
Um, I'll send you the video when we get off of here. But
Now, I will say this.
mm,
My Aunt Michelle and my Uncle Dan, they did something to their turkey this year. They like brined it for 2 days. And I was just telling y'all this. We were both saying this, and we're not really turkey fans. It's not for us. I don't find it all that great. This turkey was so flavorful. Like every
mm,
piece of meat, whether it was dark meat or white meat, was flavorful. It was
yeah.
so good. I'm
Some people do like inject their turkeys and like
mm-hmm.
put butter under the
Yeah,
skin and all that stuff.
she did say that they didn't inject the turkey. She said that they,
Mm.
they brined it for 2 days. Like they put it in a sauce of seasoning and stuff like that, and it just sat
Yeah.
for like 2 days or something like that. And but it was
Mm.
very flavorful. It was so good. I was very surprised by it because, like I said, I don't really like turkey like that. But
Yeah.
that turkey was really good.
I feel like
Um,
today people have found a way to like start making turkey good. I saw a lot of people
yeah,
were frying their turkeys this year. A
yeah.
lot of
One
people had
person.
these some specific fryer that I saw a lot of people have
Mm-hmm.
this year. I don't know if it's a TikTok thing or something, but everybody had the same fryer. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a countertop type of fryer
Yeah.
that's made specifically for the turkey to sit in. And I've never had a fried turkey. That's not my
Mm-mm.
ministry.
Mm-mm.
Turkey is not my ministry, period.
Yeah.
But I feel like the type that your aunt made, I would be willing to try.
Yes,
You
hers
let
was
the
really
thing
good.
marinate, or if you give me one that's been injected, you put that butter up under the
Mm-hmm.
skin and stuff, lock in that moisture and that flavor.
Mm-hmm.
My mouth done got, mouth done got wet, Lord. I can't
it
talk about
was
food.
it
Like,
was so good. Yes. All
mm,
right, let us get started because now I'm starting to get hungry.
for real.
We're gonna go on to one of my stories. This is from the Petty Revenge. You know I like my pettiness.
Uh-huh.
Um, and this says Petty Revenge. Their own kids accidentally helped me get petty revenge against my sister in law. I was a semi professional baker when I met hubby. Not because I tried to be, but because every weekend friends or family would pay me to make cakes, pies, and cookies. My specialty are cheesecakes and cakes with surprises in them. After moving to his hometown right before our first Christmas here, I had already gotten all the ingredients for a Christmas cake that was all of our favorites and was telling his sisters how excited I was to make this cake and how the farmer I had found had some of the best fruits I had ever seen. They told me not to bother and they'd get a store bought one to do this instead. Um, they do this with a lot of things, but only with me. If one of their friends offers to bring the same thing they've already turned me down for, it would be rude to refuse. So they bought a cake that was hard as rock and awful. The kids literally made fun of it and asked if we could saw it into bricks to make a bread brick house. Fast forward a few years, and my husband bragged about my baking to so many people that my semi pro kitchen is back to rolling along. We watch my sister in law's kids, and they bake with me sometimes. We still always get the same store bought Christmas cake for the family get together. No one eats it. Yesterday, the family was together for a situation regarding my parents in law. So we decided to hash out the Christmas plans. We're hosting, so I said I would take care of all the food and they can bring dessert. The oldest kid kicked up immediately, complaining that we have to get that awful cake every year, and why couldn't I make something for dessert too? My husband responded immediately, telling Kiddo that her mom and aunt prefer the cake from the store. Kiddo looked at her mom, then her aunt, then her mom, back to my husband, and said, well, they can't even cook. They shouldn't get to pick what we get to eat. But I shut her down and said that they really liked that cake and that we needed to respect the traditions that made them feel more at home. My true petty revenge is planting the seed of anti-exclusionary traditionalism in their offsprings, but I make that kid whatever cake she wants next time we watch her for that wicked burn.
That is diabolical. I mean, what they say from the mouths of babes, like let that baby speak the truth. Let that baby speak their truth. I'm just seeing this nasty ass shit, girl.
Yeah, I'm seeing that kid.
Girl, like what?
I'm seeing that kid look at everyone being like, but because that's the thing about kids, because whatever they're about to speak, it's the truth. It's what they believe with their whole chest. They're not doing it maliciously. They're not, well, most of them aren't. They're not generally doing it maliciously. Like in their head, it makes sense. They don't even cook. So why?
Yeah. Why do they get why I gotta have this nasty ass cake every time?
And for them, they have, the information. So they know that, this aunt, I guess she would be. This aunt does cook really well. We bake with her whenever we come over to stay here, and it's really good. We want what she bakes. She's good. So for them, they're like, why can't you just make the dessert? We do it all the time.
But why wasn't she allowed to make one in addition to the nasty cake?
They said that you didn't have to bother because they were just going to buy the store-bought cake, but they only do it when it comes to her offering to do things. So she says that anytime she offers to do things, they'll shut it down and say, oh, we're going to just buy something from the store. Like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But if one of their friends were to say, oh, we'll make a Christmas cake, then they'll be like, oh, well, it's rude to turn them down. Like, so we're going to let them do it. So she kind of caught on to that and decided that.
But if I'm coming over here, like to me, if you coming over to somebody's house, like, unless they explicitly tell you, if they tell you don't worry about it, I'm still bringing it.
Right.
Unless they tell me to explicitly not bring it, then I'm not gonna bring it. But shit, you telling me, oh, you ain't got to worry about it. We just gonna get the one from the store. Okay, but I'm gonna bring mine too.
Right.
I'm bring mine too because I actually want to enjoy my dessert.
Well, someone did ask them, I think, in the comments, like, because they're hosting this year, like, why don't you just make it because you're the one hosting? And she's like, no, because my sister-in-laws don't get to enjoy my cakes. So.
And there it is. I knew there was something else here because I was like, this ain't making sense. Like, you can bring it. Like, nothing's stopping you from bringing it. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's the whole point of the petty revenge. It's twofold. You want to be petty without letting them know, I know what y'all are doing. Y'all playing in my face. But you also being petty by being like, now you don't get to taste it. Now you don't get to have it. No matter what y'all do.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, if you want one of my cakes, now you got to pay me.
Now you got to pay. You got to pay for what they call the ingredients and what labor and materials.
Yes.
Labor and materials.
You got to order a cake now. You don't get to have one. Your children do, but you do not. In fact, they're only going to get individual sizes, so there's never any leftovers.
Man, sometimes I'd be like, I feel like I need one of those like Judge Judy type of shows. Like I need to be the judge. Cause I would just be seeing through the bullshit. Like y'all be lying in these letters. Y'all be omitting stuff. Cause it just don't make sense. Like how we get from A to G? What happened to all the letters in between? Like that something happened there that you're not telling me. We need to the tea and crystal court. Oh, that would be a good segment, bitch. If anybody out there has a dispute with a friend or a family member and y'all need a tiebreaker, come on the tea and crystal court. We will handle it. Okay. We're not sparing no feelings. Deal. No. Okay. Because y'all have seen how I get down. Y'all have seen how I get down.
And if I think you're right, I will fight for you.
Fight for you. And I will fight against you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the next story, girl.
All right.
So this is from the subreddit r slash. My voice is still not all the way back.
That's okay.
Can you hear it?
A little bit, but not really. It's only if you strain too much.
That's a little gravel in there that
I like it.
My shit. Don't get the audience riled up.
I was about to say you probably don't know this. There's actually a TikTok trend when females especially find a male's voice that they really really like. They ask them to say this one sentence because it was from a TV show called The Good Girls. Most guys are clueless about it. I never saw the show, and I wanted to. Is it
Good Girls, like the one with the ladies who did the they stole the stuff and they. Oh, I love that show.
Really? So the main character, the main character or whatever,
like the housewife lady.
Yeah, the housewife,
redhead,
and then and then the bad boy or whatever. They had like insane chemistry. Yeah. But from what I understand, what I remember reading, they did not get along in real life, so it kind of killed the show.
That's what I heard.
Which is terrible. That sucks.
I
mean, when the two co-stars have amazing chemistry, but they can't get their stuff together off screen, because that happened with the Lethal Weapon TV show. The two characters had amazing character. The show was actually funny. I really enjoyed it. But they could not get along with each other offset, and so
that's crazy.
It killed it. It did. It killed it.
See, we didn't finish. I think that we have like 4 episodes. And mind you, we stopped watching it like a year and change ago because we heard how it ended. So we were like, well, we're nowhere near a resolution in the story. Exactly. So we don't want to finish it because it's like, I'd rather just leave it where it's at because I'm never going to know. I'm never going to know how this story ends.
I do the same thing. It drives my mom insane, actually, when we start a show and then I find out. This is why I don't like to watch show. If I didn't start with it, I don't want to watch it until it's over, because then I want to know, is there a resolution? Is there a resolution? Right. Whether or not I'll like the resolution or not, that's one thing. But is there an actual ending? If there isn't, I don't ever want to see it, because why am I going to put myself through that disappointment? Girl. And so, yeah, when I first saw it come out, it looked interesting. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm definitely going to put this on my for watch list. And then, it got a couple years and I was like, I forgot about it. But then when I saw it was canceled prematurely and why, I was like, I'm never going to start the show ever.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Don't. It is a really good show, but
I'm sure. I heard it was a really good show. And the little snippets I saw, I knew it would be a show I would like. Yeah. But the fact that it ended so
really
premature.
Like it.
I know.
I think you would really like it, but it's so frustrating that it will never have a proper ending. Like,
yes. So anyway, so girls, when they hear someone have a nice, especially a nice deep voice that they really like, they'll ask them for their channel to say, "Get in the car, Elizabeth."
Oh my God. That is so stupid because I can hear him saying it. I know exactly.
So can you, for our listeners?
No. I can't. No. I don't know.
Come on. Just what's the line again?
Get in the car, Elizabeth. I had to put a little.
Elizabeth.
Yeah. Elizabeth.
Let's give an alpha dog.
Car, Elizabeth. I had to move it up an octave because I'm not giving it. Listen, if it's ever happening, y'all girls are paying me for that. Okay, we starting a Patreon, and I'm reading you girls to sleep. Okay,
look,
for it's $99.99 a month.
2025 resolution. We're gonna start a Patreon.
I'm gonna start a Patreon.
He can do the book talks, and then I'll do like the ASMR type reading. Get real close to the mic.
That would be good. Let's not, girl. Let's not put that shit out there because we will have people cussing us out, talking about, where's the content?
Where is our story? I can't sleep.
$99.99 a month. I hope y'all are ready to pay it. Because that's what it's gonna cost if I'm doing it. Oh, let's get into the story. So this one is from the subreddit r/am I the asshole? And it is entitled, "Am I the asshole for making my ex-wife pay me for a car seat?"
Ooh.
Oh, strap in. This is a doozy. Okay.
Okay.
Throwaway account because my brother-in-law is active on Reddit. I 38 male split with my wife 39 female almost 3 months ago. We have 2 kids, and this post is about our son 5 male. It wasn't the worst of breakups, but it definitely wasn't my choice too, and I hate how she went about it. We've been struggling We'd been struggling for a few years, and yeah, I admit I probably could have tried harder in couples therapy and stuff, but she basically up and left one day saying that she was tired of trying. Anyway, not to get too deep here, but basically, I think the way she left was fucked up. This is relevant later. Since our son is so young, he still needed a car seat. When she left, she drove off with the car seat, leaving me without one for my son. I was pissed and wanted it back, but she said that since she is the one doing all of the school drop-offs and pickups, I was out of luck and passing it back and forth all of the time meant that she couldn't set boundaries with me. Fair. Whatever. So I had to go buy a new one so that I could spend time with my son. But what I didn't know is that at the same time, she asked her sister, my sister in law, to give me her spare car seat. Her sister had a daughter who died unexpectedly a few years ago when she was about 4. But I had already bought one, so I ended up with 2 car seats after her sister dropped it off when I wasn't home. A couple weeks ago, my ex's car was broken into and everything was stolen, including the car seat that she took. She texted, girl, these S's are fucking.
It's
I don't
because
know
you
why I
did.
keep going.
You did Elizabeth. You
I
did
did, I
Elizabeth,
did.
and the
I
universe
did.
was like, nope.
That's oh, you want to play? Oh, you want to play? We finna have your teeth sliding around like you got dentures in your fucking mouth. Stop. She texted me and asked me to drop off my niece's old car seat at our next handover. But I didn't think that was fair. She left me. She took the car seat. I didn't make her sister give it to me or have her give me a free car seat. And now that her car seat is stolen, I didn't see why that was my problem. I also could have used the niece's old car seat when she also could have used the niece's car seat when she left, but she chose to take the one in the car. So I told her that I would only bring it back if she paid me for it. Her sister gave it to me, so it's mine now, no one else's. I told her that she could buy it off me for $100. It costs way more than that on the market. Or she could buy a new one on her own. She was pissed, but eventually sent me the money and I bought her the car seat. I thought this was fair and equal considering what she did, but my ex sister in law, who I actually always liked and sort of maintained a relationship with after the divorce, had stopped talking or texting me since this, saying that I'm out of line and that if her daughter was still alive today, she'd be disappointed in me. I really don't think I did anything unfair and was just maintaining the boundaries that my ex asked for. It's also extra fucked up to me that a dead girl is being used to shame me when I did nothing wrong in the first place, and my ex is the one who got us here. So, am I the asshole?
Yes, 100%. I'm sorry. I was trying to get with you, dude, but you are just hurt and pissed. And all of your actions are stemming from that. And I get it, but like you've already admitted that you weren't putting in the effort. So at what did you think was going to happen when your wife is obviously trying to work on your marriage and you weren't putting in that effort? You were giving, I guess, little to no regard to it until she finally got fed up and said, I'm out. Bye. And she didn't even kick you out. She left. And you're mad about that? I don't
Girl.
get why are you mad? You weren't giving effort and she left. What are you mad about? Because she didn't take you back? She didn't
You know
believe
what I'm saying?
more of the same promises I'm sure you were telling her? Like that's one issue.
Yeah. Let's put that on the shelf.
Let's put that aside. But then granted, I will say this. She did not communicate to you that there was somehow a spare. Maybe she didn't know at the time. She didn't think about it. She thought about it later, like, hey, can you go drop this off? I don't know. But she should have texted you at some point and be like, hey, my sister-in-law has a car seat. Because I agree with her. Why would she leave you the car seat? She's the one who's doing all of the child caring. So why would she put herself out of money? I'm assuming, and this is an assumption, I will admit, I'm assuming she did not think about the fact that her sister would still have her daughter's car seat however long it's been since her daughter passed. So maybe, and I'm assuming also because she's leaving in that moment, she's taking the car seat that she is probably primarily using. Logic. I'm just saying. But either way, I don't think there's really anyone who would disagree with her being the one to ultimately take the car seat because she was the one who was primarily using it. So she takes the car seat. You do your fussing, okay, and she eventually does find a solution. She has her sister-in-law drop, so you get a free car seat. You could have then taken the one you just bought and returned it and gotten your money back. You chose not to. You're like, well, now I have two. Sir, make it make sense. You could have returned it. I don't understand what you're upset about. So she goes out of her way to do this nice thing for you. And then when she's in a time of need, like you were, you decide to force her to pay you for this used car seat that was given to you for free.
Yeah.
That is how you decide to deal with it. I didn't do anything wrong. You did everything wrong. Everything wrong. We have a semi-good...
is using her dead daughter.
Sir, this dead little... He said this dead girl.
Like, what?
You mean your dead niece? Because that's what she would have been. Girl. You are the villain in this story 1,000%. May this love never find me. Because you're the asshole in this situation. I truly believe
that you say that, Crystal, because he actually gave a little bit of an edit in response to
I don't know if I want to hear from him anymore.
In response to you specifically labeling him as an asshole. He says, okay, I get it. I'm the asshole in this case, but she left me. She did this to herself. She's forcing me to put in the same boundaries she's insisting on. I don't get why people can't see this. Only one guy at work seems to understand how fucked up she is.
Tell me something. Is this one guy married? And if he is married, is his wife a stay-at-home wife?
Is his name Andrew Tate? Is that who you work with?
Is his user handle
Tate's production team?
Is his user handle Alpha Dom, maybe? Like, I'm just...
Alpha Dom.
I just need to understand who it is that's agreeing with you. This one person out of everybody else in your life is telling you... Everybody else in your life is telling you you're wrong, but this one person is like, nah, you in the right. And you're like, see? Clearly I'm right.
I knew I wasn't tripping.
I can see just off of this one page post why she left you. I can see. Oof. You sound exhausting. You sound so exhausting. You sound like you have narcissistic tendencies. Those people who cannot admit when they're wrong. You are wrong and you refuse to see it. She left you and I applaud her. What was she supposed to do? Just stay in a marriage that is unhappy for her, where she's doing this mental load of work trying to be with you and you're not doing anything to help her in that regard, as you yourself has said, or not enough to help her? I applaud your wife. And if you think that you have a pretty good co-parenting relationship, you do not.
I mean...
And just remember,
slightest.
Trying to say, "Oh, I'm just trying to abide by her boundaries," sir. This is that building thing. Well, because you did this, now when it comes to your time of need, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, it's very tit for tat, and I think some men, instead of sitting and exploring their emotions and what they're feeling, they really weaponize it weaponize people's boundaries with them. Like we've seen this time and time again, where someone will set a boundary or they'll express something that they want, and men who don't want to go with it will bastardize it and weaponize it against the person that they used to be with or that they're with. Just to prove this point of like beating them down, to be like, no, you're gonna go back to what I want and the way that I want to handle this. So I'm just gonna beat this thing out of you to make you just give up and be like, fine, we'll do it, your way. And honestly, I think that's disgusting, and that's probably why she got the fuck on the way she did, because she was like, I can't get this man no more chances. Like he's just gonna manipulate the situation and make everything woe is me. Like the best way to handle this is to rip the band-aid off. The only thing uh that she did wrong, in my opinion, is set him up with that car seat. I would have left his ass hang. That's a grown ass motherfucking man, girl. If you're going to leave, you need to leave. I understand that you want your children to be safe, but if that man is willing to put your baby in the car without a car seat when he know that baby need a car seat, baby, that's just ammunition in your bag to give to your attorney to get sole custody of them kids. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
I mean,
we can't afford to play those games.
You know what? I can understand a little bit her mindset. She's probably thinking she wants to try to have as an amicable of a relationship as she can. And so that's why she got her sister-in-law to get him this car seat. I think what she did wrong was she must not have communicated to him that she was sending this over. She must have just had it sent to him. So that's where I see fault in what she did. But yeah, you're the asshole, dude. I don't like you.
An astronomical level asshole. Like,
yeah. You are not
you
the
ready
prize.
To move on with the. I mean, he really feel like he is the prize, bitch. Like
We're
you could really, between the lines, he's like, "Girl, I am the catch here.
I am the catch.
How dare she leave me? She can't do that. She's not allowed to leave me.
Not allowed. I was supposed to leave her.
I'm supposed to get another woman pregnant and leave her in the dust.
I'm supposed to have a whole other family before I left, but it was supposed to be on my terms.
I didn't even get a chance to surprise her with my second family.
All right, moving on. I do have an update for you guys. I have an update from one of our Thanksgiving stories, the one where the woman asked if she was the asshole for telling her sister that she was not allowed to bring her homemade food to Thanksgiving. Ooh. And in response, her sister was like, now I'm going to bring lots of stuff. I'm going to surprise you with a trio extravaganza. Well, they had their Thanksgiving and she has given us an update on how it went.
I'm sorry. Let me mute myself. I can't wait for this. I forgot what story it was going to be. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for this. Sorry.
Okay. So just to give a quick recap, kind of what I just said, the sister was hosting Thanksgiving. Her sister is known for experimenting with their Thanksgiving dishes. I think at one point she said something about a green bean casserole mixed with almond flour and something else, and it was terrible. So basically the sister, to avoid all that, requested that she not bring any homemade food and said she would help in other ways. This caused a chain reaction where the family was a little divided. Most of them did not also did not want her to bring anything, but weren't willing to speak up about it. Others were saying, it's all about, coming together, the thought that counts, basically, including the mother. The mother was trying to keep the peace. She's, whatever. Anyways, the sister was upset, so she decided that she was going to push even harder and make a trio extravaganza to open up everyone's palate. So this is the result. Thanksgiving dinner is official. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me read the title. It's the same thing. Final update. Am I the asshole for telling my sister she's not allowed to bring her homemade food to Thanksgiving because her cooking is ruining the meal? Thanksgiving dinner is officially over, and I genuinely don't know where to start. where to start. So, my sister showed up earlier than expected, which I should have seen coming. She came in like a storm carrying not just her 3 dishes, but also this giant platter wrapped in foil, which she was clearly trying to make a big deal about it. She immediately started rearranging tables, moving my dishes to the side so hers could take center stage. She even bought her own table runner and candles, saying something about setting the mood for a creative dining experience. I decided not to fight her on it because at this point I just wanted to get through the night without a blow up. Her trio experience was, well, let's just say it was everything I feared and more. She started with a glittery sweet potato mash that somehow managed to taste like a mix of sugar and sand. The glitter wasn't even edible glitter. It was craft glitter, which I didn't realize until one of the kids said, "This is crunchy," and I looked closer. Then there was the cranberry and oyster relish. Yes, cranberries and oysters. It looked like someone had spilled jam into clam chowder, and the smell alone was enough to make me lose my appetite. Finally, she brought a pumpkin curry casserole that had raisins in it for some reason, and this weird fishy smell that clung to the air for way too long. But the pièce de résistance was her surprise centerpiece dish, which turned out to be a turkey gelatin mold. Yes, she took ground turkey, mixed it with some kind of broth and seasoning, turned it into a wobbly, translucent mold shaped like a turkey. She even garnished it with parsley and cherry tomatoes to make it festive. I wish I was kidding. The entire table was silent when she unveiled it, except for my cousin, who immediately started coughing to cover up what I'm pretty sure was a laugh. Things hit the peak when my mom, who has been defending her this entire time, took one bite of the gelatin mold and just froze. She didn't say anything, but you could see the regret on her face. My sister, noticing the lack of enthusiasm, decided to go on this long speech about how Thanksgiving food is too boring and how she's trying to challenge our palates. She even called my ham and mashed potatoes uninspired, which was rich coming from someone serving glitter and potatoes. The breaking point came when my aunt, who's usually the peacekeeper, tried the gelatin mold and actually gagged. She tried to be polite about it, but my sister saw her reaction and completely lost it. She started yelling about how nobody in the family supports her and how we're all stuck in the past with our unoriginal food. She even accused me of sabotaging her dishes by not hyping them up enough to everyone. At this point, half the table was trying not to laugh, and the other half was just staring at their plates, probably wondering how we got here. My sister ended up storming out of the house, but not before saying something along the lines of, "You'll regret not appreciating my vision when I'm famous." She left most of her food behind, which my cousin and I quietly threw out after dinner. The rest of the night actually turned out pretty nice once the tension was gone. My dad's emergency ham was a lifesaver, and everyone agreed that next year we're either going to a restaurant or just skipping Thanksgiving altogether.
Don't let your sister ruin Thanksgiving for y'all. I like, come on. Y'all need to get some balls. I'm sorry. Y'all got to tell that lady, go talk to a therapist. Figure out what the fuck you trying to do. What you're trying to do with this whole food stuff. What are you trying to discover in your inner child? Okay? Go talk to the lady and leave us out of it. You're not allowed to bring the food over here. You're not allowed. Y'all got to put your foot down. This is pissing me off because I hate when people play in food. Girl, you didn't get the baby. That would have been enough for me right then and there to be like, all right, we're not playing these games no more. You didn't gave the babies mashed potatoes with inedible glitter in it. You could have had these babies in the hospital. They would have been shitting glitter for weeks. They would have been shitting glitter for weeks. You have to stop. That would have been the end of. We wouldn't have got to the Jello turkey. Sooner them babies would have bitten to the mashed potatoes and opened their mouth up, and it would have looked like the inside of a geode.
I'm with you.
Bitch, you got all of this got to go. Clean up these motherfucking table runners, these candles you done lit in my living room. Clean it up and get it out my house. And if you want to go with it, so be it. We're done with games. I'm not doing this no more. You're not finna have the family talking about we don't even want to celebrate Thanksgiving no more. Because this girl want to play in the play every single year. Y'all got Y'all have
I
got to do something.
I don't know what. Well, no, never mind. They did say they were like maybe we would go to a restaurant, but I don't think any other restaurants would be open. But you would probably be able to do. I heard someone say that they actually get their Thanksgiving catered every year.
Yeah, yeah,
You
that's
would probably have to
possible.
do that.
You can pick it up the day before from a lot of places.
Yeah, and that's what
Go
they
down to the
said
damn Cracker
because
Barrel.
yeah,
Get
because they
you a
were
couple
saying they were
tinfuls.
tired. Yeah, they were tired of being the ones to do everything and nobody else would help in. So they were just like, we're going to cater it. And she said they've been doing it every year since, and it's been fantastic. And
Yeah.
it allows everyone to enjoy the meal without too much of not being involved in the actual festivities.
Hmm.
Um, but
I feel like half the fun of Thanksgiving for me is making the food.
yeah,
Like
I do
I
too.
actually enjoy it, you know.
Yeah, I imagine that too, but I also imagine that if you're always having to also then clean up and just do anything, then you don't actually get to enjoy the holiday, you know?
Yeah.
And I know for me, sometimes when I cook, like I'm not always hungry afterwards.
Hmm.
So, depending on the type of person, if there's someone who, after they've cooked, especially if they've tasted things, tried things here and there, and so by the time it's time to sit down, you're so exhausted that you're not actually enjoying the food that you just made, the family time that you're having,
Yeah.
because now you're going to have to clean everything up afterwards because nobody's helping you. So, I understand why some people are
Mhm.
just like, we're going to cater. My
Yeah.
dogs are killing me.
Yeah. For para mí, it would be over and done with her. Like that whole like y'all gonna be mad when I'm famous one day for my dishes. That may have been when I got on the phone and be like, "This is an emergency. Y'all might have to go pick her up and examine her, see like what's
Mm-hmm.
because something ain't connecting up here. Something that
Yeah.
got loose, and y'all need to figure out what the hell going on. This is a cry for help at this point. Like this has gone past we entertaining your shenanigans. Okay,
And
girl.
mind you, for anyone who is curious, she did answer in the comments that yes, she did eat her own food very enthusiastically. Um so she is one of those people where I'm not the problem because I'm eating the same thing and it tastes great to me.
And
I don't see.
there, and you know what? The solution may be fix your shit at home and bring your plate with you. If you don't want to eat what we serving,
Right.
bring your shit with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to bring nothing for nobody else. Fix your
Mhm.
plate, wrap that hoe up, put it in your little lunch pail, bring it here, warm it up in the microwave.
Mhm.
Oh no, because the only way you tell the answer is no,
The answer is
bitch.
no.
Don't come over here,
So that is our
girl.
update. Let us know
You
what you
done
think about
pissed
that
me
in the
off. You done
comments.
pissed me off in here. Sorry.
All right, moving
I'm
on to your story.
all right. So this one comes from the subreddit r/relationship advice. Y'all know I love the subreddit. And it is entitled I, 44 male, have to end the relationship with my son, 18 male. How do I process this?
Ooh.
Here we go. Just a warning. I didn't have time to edit this, so I know somewhere in this letter there is a word that is wrong. So don't kill me when I stumble over it, okay? But I don't have time to find it and edit it right now. So he says, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life, and I hope that no parent ever has to go through what I'm going through. My son and I used to be very close. My son came out to us 5 years ago, and my wife didn't take it well. My wife comes from a traditional country, and she's big on tradition. After that, she stopped speaking to him. That was our son, but I couldn't make her have a relationship with him. I love my wife, and she has a great relationship with our other two kids, but this brought a lot of tension in the house. She's just ignored him and doesn't speak to him. She didn't attend his high school graduation or anything. I won't say which one, but he has a scholarship and plays a sport at one of the service academies. That was the word. It says academies. I think he means academies.
Mm-hmm.
My wife didn't come to see him off or go to his first day. He started to cut me off as well and says that I have to choose between him or my wife. I'm devastated. He said he resents me because I allowed her to treat him this way. I'm going to text him the following: I love you, and this is the hardest thing I have ever had to do, but I am not choosing between you and your mother. I went to all your games, supported you, taught you how to play the bass. Anytime you needed me, I have been there, and I still will be. Your mother did a lot of things, but she's never tried to make me pick between the two of you. I will not pick between the two of you, and I feel, um, and if you feel you cannot talk to me because of that, then I will have to accept that. This is really hard because I love my son, but at least I take comfort knowing that I did everything I could for him. I raised a great kid, and now he attends the service academy. I know I was the best father I could be for him. I just have to process this. And I wanted to highlight a couple of comments before we get into
Okay.
our commentary. The first comment here says, "Dude, I'm sorry, but you failed massively as a father. You've let this woman abuse your son because of his sexuality. You don't really love or respect him if you've allowed this. Why would your son trust you or want to be around you when there's a woman treating him like a social pariah?" And it says, you do have to choose because he's being abused and ostracized by your wife, but it's obvious that you already chose your wife because you refused to be a good man or father. You would, if you were a good man or a father, you would stand up to your wife and let her know that what she's doing is unacceptable, vile, and abusive. You don't deserve to be forgiven. They, when I say they are tagging his ass in these comments. Someone else that says even traditional people are supposed to put parenthood over social programming. You would be joining in with your wife and being straight up evil if you were to abandon your teenage son. Honestly, this woman shouldn't even be allowed to be around your other kids because who knows what they might be suppressing just because of her emotional abuse. The reason you can't process this is because it violates all norms of human behavior and parental bonds. Your son isn't the problem. You and your wife are. Whew. This one's a little heavy, but
Hmm.
what say you, Crystal?
I mean, I'm going to have to side with our commenters on this one. I agree with them in a lot of ways. I'm sure it's a very difficult thing. Um, but I can't imagine what this 18-year-old, this newly 18-year-old has been going through the last couple of years living under your household with that kind of person. Can you can you imagine living with your parents and one of them just absolutely refuses to acknowledge you in any way, doesn't support you in any way, and
Mm,
you thought things were peaceful? You no, he was just keeping his mouth shut. He was keeping his head down, his mouth shut until he was able to legally be able to move on. Um and as we've learned over the last couple of weeks, there are things that some people cannot have in their lives morally. If you morally oppose everything about me, I don't want you in my life. And anybody who stands by silently while this person is doing that to me and try to claim to love me and support me, your actions show the opposite. I get that you love your wife, and I understand that it is very difficult to be put in the middle. And sure, I'm really happy that you tried to make up for that in some way by helping him, showing up for him and stuff like that. But that wasn't enough as a father. You allowed this to continue by not ever saying anything. Y'all just like, as long as she wasn't being physically abusive to him, as long as she just stayed away from him, you guys all allowed this to happen. You, I mean, what would you would have done if it had gotten too much for your son and he ended up killing himself because of all this? How would you feel if because of your wife's actions he ended up taking his life because of it? I, yeah, I'm with the people. If you want to let your son go, that is your decision. You are choosing your wife. You were going to, it was going to happen either way. But I wish and pray that your son finds a family out there that is going to love and support him unconditionally, because he deserves that. And I hope that you guys never try to infringe on his peace ever again, because you don't deserve him in your life at all.
I really wonder in a situation like this, like what are the dad's real options? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you're given an ultimatum like that, like it's really a lose-lose situation for the
It
dad.
is. It is.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like I think everybody who commented is correct in one way or another.
I mean, it's good.
They got
Yeah, like you
they
said, it's a lose-lose, and you have to decide which one of them, because whether or not your wife explicitly spoke it or not, she never asked, explicitly asked you, but um it's in ways you are always having to choose between them, because at some point there's going to be, I don't know, a family trip somewhere that you guys are going to go to that she's not going to want him to come. And you're going to accept that, aren't you? For everybody else to be able to go on this trip, you're going to say, okay, he can't come. So you're going to be choosing your wife in that instance. And maybe on his side, I don't know, there's a holiday he wants you to come visit. Your wife will be upset if you don't come, if you don't stay. Well, then you're choosing him. There's going to be instances, like you're never not going to be able to choose between one and the other. But yeah, it is a lose-lose, because it's essentially saying like which one means more to me in a way. And for him, despite his wife's hatefulness and her prejudice, he's ultimately saying, I can live with it. And I can live with knowing that you're just out there. I can live with not speaking to you ever again, not having any contact with you, not seeing you get married, have kids, have a life. I can live with that, because I'm gonna have.
But see, this is why I'm exploring it a bit, because to me, which is what I kind of find fucked up, is the son is saying to the dad, listen, I don't want nothing to do with that lady. And me having something to do with you is going to open up me having to do something with that lady. So I'm going to need you. He essentially saying you want to divorce that lady.
Yeah.
Or be my dad, which I think is an impossible thing to ask of somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, little nigga, I knew this lady way longer than I known you.
Yeah.
Okay. And as fucked up as it is, the life that I built was with her. And we built that life for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't see you. I'm blindsided just like you are. I ain't know that bitch was finna do you like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think what's messed up that the dad did is pretty much say, like, if that's the decision that you making, then that's going to be your decision. Kind of putting it back on him. Like when the son said it in his lap, the dad was like, well, girl, checkmate.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's fair. I feel like the dad should have had a deeper conversation with the son to explain to him, like, listen, this is a lot of you. This is a lot that I'm being asked to do in the moment, because as I am your dad, but I'm also your younger sibling's dad as well. I'm assuming the siblings are younger, but I'm also your sibling's dad as well. And I can't just up and leave my wife. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot to consider. We have a home together. We have cars together. We have assets together. We have these children together. I don't think it's as easy as to just say, you need to cut your wife out the picture.
Yeah.
For how she treats your son. I do think that, it is unfortunate that if this is your son's line, then you see what I'm saying? Like, for me, I'm like, I
get what
see
you're saying.
why he chose, because he didn't really choose
Mm-hmm.
But it was, as you were saying, it's kind of an inherent choice
Yeah.
where it's like he's not going to leave his wife.
I guess for
You know what I'm
me,
saying?
people say action speaks louder than words, and his actions over the years have essentially, for especially for the son, uh, has allowed this prejudice to infiltrate their family.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't speak up against it. He didn't defend him.
Hmm.
The fact that you never, I think this might be his main issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, if I'm married to my husband and our child comes out as being part of the LGBTQ community and whatever, and my husband then starts to treat my child the way this mother did, I don't know how my feelings could have ever stayed the same. I
Yeah.
would look at my husband so completely differently. The
Mm-hmm.
more, because you had to have seen the pain that this was causing your son. You had to
Mm-hmm.
throughout, because it's not like he turned 18, moved away, and then came out to you, and then your wife was just like, oh, I'm never going to speak to them again. No, he had to live in your house for however long while this was going on. This was going on
Yeah.
every single day of his life for years. So I'm sure that had to take a toll on him. Every time she
Mm-hmm.
didn't come to an event, every time she laughed with his siblings, watched movies with them, did stuff with them, and did not do it with him, I
Mm-hmm.
can't imagine the pain that must have been going through him or seen on him. And
Absolutely.
so I don't see how over those years your feelings for her didn't change.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, like, whatever life you built is an illusion, because you never really knew this person, because now they have this type of hate for you, for your own children, that you never expected them to ever have.
Yeah.
Like, so for
Yeah.
me, I can understand where he's getting, you have to choose type of thing. And why many people are being upset for it. I get what you're saying, but it's also hard for me to wrap my head around not ending up choosing my child, because I feel like after
Mm-hmm.
that many years, my feelings for my spouse would have changed anyways, because
Yeah.
I feel like my instincts would be to protect my child as much as possible, and I don't see how you're protecting them by allowing them to have lived through that without
Yeah.
saying anything. There would have been a fight in my house almost every single day,
Mm-hmm.
because every
Yeah.
time she ignored him, I would have said something. I would have had to say
Yeah.
something, even if it was going to end in a fight. And eventually,
Mm-hmm.
though, that fighting probably would have built up to, we need to get a divorce, because I don't see how my feelings could have stayed the same. I don't think they would
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Um,
I just wanted to, you know,
yeah, I
poke at it
see,
a
but I
little bit.
see,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Because I agree with you 100%. We don't play that shit over here.
yeah, yeah.
You ain't finna but you know me. I like to expand these conversations
Right.
sometimes and play devil's advocate,
Hmm.
um, just to see where we can go,
Yeah, I
in
just think
exploring
people,
this kind of stuff.
it's such a hard thing to cover and go over, but I think people are more okay with some type of prejudice than they think. They don't realize until it's
Mm,
happening. And so when you are one of those people who is essentially saying, you're staying silent to people in your family being hurt and bullied, you are to that person at the very least saying, this is kind of okay.
yeah, because I
I'm
think
okay with
the
that.
dad's perspective is a bit of like, wow, because I don't know what he did with his wife behind the scenes. I don't know what kind of
Yeah.
conversations and stuff they
Hmm.
had, but I think where he was coming from was, I may not have, he wasn't there for him in the defensive posture, at least from
Hmm.
his son's perspective.
Yeah.
It wasn't really laid out like that in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
letter,
Yeah.
but he was like, you didn't stop her
Hmm.
from stopping loving me, which is,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
didn't make her treat me how she treated me before I came out.
Hmm.
But the dad was like, but I've been there.
Hmm.
I couldn't force her to be there. I couldn't do that, but
Hmm.
I was there still. I did whatever. And unfortunately for the son, there just wasn't enough. Like
Yeah.
he really wanted, you know, his mom to be there for him. Um, which unfortunately she wasn't. I just really wish that the dad and the son can have a relationship
Yeah.
outside of the mom. And I understand why the son has a hard line. I think the line will probably soften as he gets older,
Right.
with his dad at least. Because I do think, you know, at the end of the day, the dad could have done more. I just feel like he was in a really, really hard position,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for his son, he didn't make the right choice. I think the right choice for the son would have been, well, if that lady can't love me, then we need to build a life outside of her.
Yeah.
And the dad just couldn't take
Right.
that step. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So it's really unfortunate.
It is.
It
And
ended
I
up that
think you
way.
might be right. I think with time, maybe the stance will could possibly soften. I think it also depends on how the rest of his family, his siblings in particular, when they grow up, if he still has any contact with any of them. Because I think if it
Yeah.
comes down to just the dad and everybody else in his family doesn't like him, I feel like it could end up being something that's just too hard for him.
Yeah. That is true.
But yeah.
I don't think as he gets out the house and he realizes, like, I can have a totally separate relationship with one of my parents than another parent, because I get to make the terms on how we show up for each other. I think that'll open the door. So
Yeah.
I think that the dad is right to leave it where it is now. Let your son make that decision, and if he decides to come back, then he'll come back. Amen. God bless. We gave it to y'all. We get a little deep. Chris, are you sharing your last story, or are we getting the fuck out of here?
I think we're getting the fuck out of here because I'm hungry.
All right.
It's dinner time, y'all.
I know that's right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let y'all know right here, right now, we only got a few more of these things left of the year. Okay. Crystal and I had our pre-show meeting. And we are winding this thing down. Okay.
For the year.
For the year. You guys, as it is planned now, don't worry, you will have an episode until Christmas week. Okay. The week of Christmas, you will have an episode.
Yes.
After that, baby, you won't see us again till the new year.
Yeah.
Okay. We want to set the expectations now. Okay. We understand. We would, just from having missed last week, we got cussed out. He was like, no new episode. What you mean? Like, come back. Listen, we love your enthusiasm for the show.
Yeah.
We love that y'all, love us getting on here and being dumb as hell. But we are going to be taking a bit of a hiatus between Christmas and after the New Year. So, but for now, I was stalling y'all. I was stalling like hell because I could not find my outro.
You could have told me or something, because I could have helped you out with that.
Girl, I was trying to pay. I was over here, but I got it now.
You did. Okay.
I was over here scrolling hardest. I was like, bitch, where is my motherfucker? I was look like I was over here DJing. Where is my goddamn? Oh, well, Crystal, thank you for a wonderful episode, girl, for coming back and doing this thing with me. And thank you all for joining us for another episode of the Tea and Crystals podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Okay? Because I need another one. I ain't seen y'all in a while. Y'all be doing good on the Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Make sure you also leave us a written review, even if it's to tell us to make sure that we come back in the new year. Okay? Threaten us in the review section. Good threats, though. because I
Mm-hmm.
will call the police. If you like what you saw, make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe on YouTube. If you have any questions, comments, or you would like to share your own story with us, if you see anything on the TikTok that Crystal told me is about to get banned, if you see us, if you see anything online that you would like to share, send us a link. We will talk about it on the show. Send us a link in our DMs.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, we would love to see it. And you can do so at tandcrystal@gmail.com. That's TEAANDCRYSTAL at gmail.com. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook by searching Tea and Crystals Podcast. Follow us on TikTok while you can at Tea and Crystals Podcast and on Instagram at Tea and Crystals Pod. Now, Crystal, is there anything else you want to say to the people before we get the hell up out of here?
Yes. First, I would like to give a shout out to Kilowski on our Instagram. She did one of those little like my top podcasts of the year, and she put us at number 3. So thank you for that. We truly appreciate it.
Yes.
As Timmy did say, we are aware that there's going to be possibly, but most likely, a TikTok ban starting January 19th in the new year. But do not worry, for those of you who are planning to find ways around that, the VPN and all that stuff, and still will have access to TikTok, we will still be on there. If nothing else, if I'm not able to do it, our host is not in the US. So we do have one of us who will always have access to it. So we'll continue to post on there as we usually do, which sucks because my resolution this year was actually get a little bit more personal with our TikTok page, start doing some of those like little trends and stuff like that, but whatever. But if nothing else, again, you'll always find us on Instagram, Facebook, wherever the new app happens to be. I know there's been a lot of chatter about where people are going to be going. We will try to keep up with the trends and figure that out. And we'll keep you updated here as always. Please let us know how your Thanksgiving was. Give us your stories. Give your thoughts about these stories. Show us any decorations you got going on. Look at my Christmas tree.
For real. Yeah.
So excited because it's Christmas time. Yeah. But thank
you. If you made it to this part of the episode and you're watching on YouTube, leave a Santa Claus emoji, a snowflake emoji, and the 2 red exclamation point emojis all in one string in the comment section. I want to see if y'all made it here. Okay. Y'all gonna get a special shout out on the next episode. So make sure y'all do that. Okay. I'm be looking for it. I'll be looking for it.
Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next week.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.